side. I'm really excited, I know I say that a lot now, but to introduce Luca, co-CEO and co-founder of Planet Farms, for our one-on-one conversation on the future of harvesting.
Good morning to everyone. Hi.
Making sure these mics are working, right? It's a little bit iffy in here. So, Luca, thank you so much for joining us here today. I know we had a bunch of conversations before this, or I think 2 or 3 discussions about Planet Farms, unicorns in Italy. And before we kind of dive into the discussion, I wanted to hear a little bit about your background and provide to the audience your background and sort of what is the personal story behind starting Planet Farms and your journey.
So thanks a lot. It's a really awesome opportunity to be here. My journey started years ago because with my family, we are market leader worldwide in fermenting and drying room for sausages, and we supply completely automatic facility all over the world. I was in charge for the full automation part, and 8 years ago, unfortunately, I had the cancer that changed my life. I was forced to change my life because I was traveling like 240, 250 days all year, all over the world, passing from US to Russia to Spain to Italy, all over. And at that point, everything changed because I had no view anymore. And it was hard, and when I was lucky because I got several surgery, but at the end I'm here. So I decided to commit myself in developing a technology that can really reply to an important question and to an important right that nobody has. We are fighting for a lot of rights, but no one of us has the right to know where the food is coming from. The food that we are eating is coming from. So with my family company from 2014 to 2018, we invest around 30 million euros to see if the technology that I was thinking was reliable and was good.
And a little bit on sort of the family company side. Your family company is in food production, right?
Yeah.
So you have a background in this in a little bit. So that gives you a little bit of a head start, I would say, on sort of Planet Farms, right?
Yeah. I was lucky because I'm not an engineer. I was graduated in Bocconi, and
we have 3 Bocconi students here who are fantastic volunteers from the Entrepreneurship Club.
And I really found I'm a maniac of mechanics of processes, and I was lucky because during my experiences with my family company, I was able to see at least 35 facilities per week all over the world in the food industry. So I know quite well which are also the problem that this industry has to
like
fight.
Production, distribution.
Consistency a lot.
Okay, got it.
Access to the food. So it's something that nowadays around the food industry there are several problems because the food, first of all, it's not no one has access all over the world to the food. The food, we have to find a way to produce the food in a sustainable way. The food became part of our health because if we are able to eat better, we are really able to grow better, to live better also. And also the food is a part of the culture of a lot of people and a lot of countries, in particular
Italy.
In Italy, right? So also what we have done, vertical farm, that it's also a word that means at the end anything, because can be done in several different ways. We commit ourselves to be the first one all over the world to create a process that allows us to deliver a product, a vegetable product, that doesn't have to be washed, to be eaten. So at the end, it's why we came to this technology, that it's a part of what the world called vertical farm, but we have applied it in a different way, in a fully automatic way, to achieve a result that was no wash.
So basically, the novel piece is no human touch, no wash in that process, right, of going from planting to growing to bagging, right? Am I misstating that, or is?
Yeah. Don't be scared, because I mean the technology in our case allows us to provide the same way of the best Mother Nature cycle. I mean, we have exactly the same. We have sunrise. We change the light spectrum during the day. It's like all our crops every day are in a paradise. So they have every day the best condition, and we have a perfect consistency.
It's like a Four Seasons hotel.
Even better, even better, even better. And in this way, you are able also to improve the quality. Consider that in our facility in Cavenago, outside Milan, we produce daily 30,000 bags in only one shift, with 8 people plus 2 technicians. So fully automatic, really. And the final product is completely different. You have to taste it. Unfortunately, we don't have the opportunity now to let you taste, but we don't use any chemicals at all, any pesticides, nothing. It's exactly the pure, the best cycle of Mother Nature. And we're using the same elements, because we are using the air, but we work in a complete clean room environment. So we are using absolute filter to remove the dirty part in the air, the bacterial part in the air. We don't use the sunlight, but we have developed with Philips Lighting, that is our partner all over the world, lights that are able to focus only on the spectrum that requires the crop. So you're not using the complete light, but you use only the light that are necessary for photosynthesis. We don't use soil, but we have developed a specific tailor-made. We have recreated a substrate that it's an organic one, but we don't have the bacterial part inside. And the water is taken under 24-meter deep, and with reverse osmosis and UV, we are able to balance in a perfect way, so to have always the same water. And the water is an essential part of the technology, because we're not using water at all, because we are using only the water that is necessary. So 98% less, even higher.
Incredible. And you know, I'm thinking from the audience perspective here. The end user of, or the end purchaser of the current products, or the current organic products that you're growing, it's mostly restaurants right now, or
No. I mean, as I told you before, we are producing now 30,000 bags per day. It means that now we are on
you're in stores?
Yeah, 850 stores in the best retail in Italy. And then now we are also extending in exporting some variety to test other market abroad.
And you showed me right before we went into the panel discussion of the opening that you have on Tuesday for the 3 Michelin star restaurant. Can you give us a little bit behind that?
Yeah, during during COVID time, we were producing in our research facility a lot of products, and we were not anymore allowed to share and to taste with other people. And Chico Cerea, the chef and the owner of Da Vittorio restaurant, that is a 3 Michelin star restaurant in Bergamo, the best, I think, Italian restaurant that we have in Italy as a traditional Italian kitchen. They took the whole team to support the ospedale degli Alpini di Bergamo. That was at the beginning of COVID time. It was the worst place in Italy where we were suffering a lot. And he asked people to supply food. And I took the challenge, and we delivered him our basil. And it was the 8th of March, and the 9th of March, I got a phone call from him, and he started asking me, where are you buying that basil that I'm not even able to find a basil like that, even in the best part of the season? And I told him, oh, we are producing that basil in Cinisello Balsamo. And they started to laugh because for him it was impossible. Then the next day, I got all the Cerea family, because it's a real family business. And we started this relationship. He understood quite well what was the strength of the technology. We are able to produce where it's needed, what is needed, and with a perfect consistency. So if you can understand, typically, agriculture was climate driven. So we were obliged to go in places where there were climate condition, social condition, and economic condition to produce. And then we have such a long supply chain that throw away half of the product that are produced globally. We are able to change this production in a agriculture on demand, because we are able to produce where there are the requirement, where is the demand on the market. So we don't have to go ahead in squeezing country and destroy countries to produce a food that later will be half thrown away. So it became really efficient, and for them it was the best condition, because we are able to produce exactly what they want.
And consistently.
Yes, every day in the same way. And to deliver a 3 Michelin star dish, every time Mother Nature delivers you slightly different. If you produce a basil at your home, every time, every cycle, the taste is slightly different. In our case, we don't, because we have a perfect consistency. So for them, it was really important to achieve this result.
So that gets into sort of my last two questions I have before we open up for audience questions. From the data side, what is the most exciting thing that you've seen or that Planet Farms is working on data? Because it's not just vertical farms that you're building, but you also are implementing and overlaying a tech layer on top of that.
Planet Farm is not a salad producer. Planet Farm is a tech company that took the decision to start from salad to become the market leader in that industry. Why? Because the salad is the softest, the most critical element in Mother Nature, and due to that, we were able to improve the technology, because baby leaves react immediately to a hair problem, to a light problem, to a disease. And we start from that. The goal since the beginning for me and my partner was to become the key element in a lot of supply chain industry, because everyone thinks that the agriculture is only food. The agriculture is not only food. And the part of the agriculture that has also a huge environmental impact are a lot of supply chain. So our goal is to do a lot of researches. Since 8 years, we started researches not only on salad, but in all possible variety. We are producing, to give an example, cotton. We are producing lino. We are producing coffee. We are producing everything. We test everything.
So in theory, we could have a beautiful new collection of Giorgio Armani linen that was made just for that collection, or Versace cotton or things like that, right? Is that or is that, you know, too Milanese or?
Maybe it's too early. I mean, in the future for sure, because if you think also for the fashion industry now to become sustainable, it's quite difficult for them, because at the end, the heaviest weight is in the cotton production and in the supply chain. We are, to give an example on cotton, we are able to be 800 more productive than Mother Nature. But not only in cotton, consider that in baby leaves, in our facility, we have a netto growing production area of 1 hectare. Over there, we are able to produce like 300 hectares of normal agriculture, 1 to 300.
Wow.
It means that we are able to give back 299 hectares for the environment, because we have to take care about the balance
Right.
of the environment. Otherwise, we have issues, because in the next 20 years, we will have a problem, because in the next 20 years, we have to be able to produce more food than was produced in the last 10,000 years. And we don't have water anymore. The water became a problem. So we are lucky that at the end we are in the right moment with a technology that came unusually from Italy, but trust me, it was really challenging and hard to do this in Italy besides US and other countries, because Italian customers are 3 Michelin star each. We are crazy about food, and it was really challenging to go to the people and say, oh, taste this salad that is done in a closed environment. For them, oh, what are you talking about? No way. And now they understood that thanks to the technology, we are able to produce a real sustainable product that has an unbelievable taste.
And when the Italians taste it, what do they say? Luck or hard work?
Huh?
Luck or hard work? The success that you've built at Planet Farms with you and Daniele, your co-founder, co-CEO, what do you attribute to? Luck or hard work?
Yeah. It was not easy, because when I start, the reply was, it's impossible. Then I started to do this after a cancer. So also the people that loves me, they were thinking, oh, he went out of crazy, he became crazy. So okay, let him dream about it. And at the end we have done. And also I agree of what other people were saying about Italy. We have it's an awesome place where we have awesome people. I mean, the people that the Planet Farm has are people that in US maybe they can have 1 0 more salary easily, and they're really smart, really smart. We have created this environment with people from complete different industry. I have chemical engineer, boat engineer, we have mechanical, we have now 98 people in our company, and thanks to them we are able to dream every day, because it was challenging. We were able to supply. Now we are in the market since 1.5 years with a great result. It's maybe day 0.1 of our journey, because it's required time, it's required a lot of investment, it's required a lot of research as well.
We have a couple investors here in the audience, so
yeah.
they're excited.
But can be done. So that's the nice part. There are solutions that can react to the current situation.
Great. So we would like to now open up for some questions for the last couple of minutes for Luca. Got a question up front here.
Any comments on the harvesting of cannabis?
No, at least, every people, I got a lot of US investors that came to visit our facility, and at the end of the visit, they came close to me and they said, sorry, but I'm not able to understand why you have developed such an awesome technology, and they are selling a product only for 18 euro per kilo, when this technology can allow you to sell pharmaceutical cannabis at maybe 15,000 euro per kilo. That was not the challenge, that was not the goal. For sure, I can produce the best cannabis in Italy, but in Italy, the government is not so so quiet, it's not so clear. So I mean, in this moment, we don't. In the future, if I have to do, I would do only the pharmaceutical one. But in Italy you can't. So I don't want to look at that opportunity. I really want to work with our investor to create value in the supply chain. I prefer now to produce cotton and lino for the fashion industry beside cannabis for the pharmaceutical one. So that's the goal.
We got a question over here.
Yeah, no surprise that Americans are more into making better drugs and better food. But where's the when you go into the food sector besides cotton, what else are you looking at? How else do you get the perfection that you get with the basil?
Now we have done huge research on cotton, lino, coffee, cacao, and we are really close to be able to work on that. The part in our journey is that we are using energy to produce a crop, a leaves, whatever it is. So I mean, in some area I can produce everything at really affordable prices. It's only a matter how you produce the energy that will be used for the facility to produce that. But there are thousands of opportunities, and also the nice part is that every year, for example, on salad, we improve normally the yield of 25% every year. The amount of data that we are able to collect are huge. Only from one single facility, we are collecting 750 gigabytes of data per day. Consider that in agriculture, there are no data because they are impossible to be driven, to be taken, because there are so many parts that are not controllable. In our case, we have the data. And it's why I think that what we are doing, we are not trying to replicate normal agriculture. We are exactly what the F1 represents for the automotive industry. We develop technology, we develop sensor that later on will be applied for normal agriculture. And with the huge amount of data, we will be able to react to the problem that now are fighting with the normal agriculture.
We got time for one more question. Or two. We'll do two.
Congratulations, you're a SaaS company, salad as a service. So is there any way you can take the same approach to livestock and animal welfare that you've done with agriculture?
I mean, I came from the meat business, so at the end, at the beginning, yes. It takes time, but for sure in the future, yes. I mean, the part is that, in particular, for example, in Italy, some product, we think that the prices should be as low as possible. And I mean, this technology for sure nowadays is not the cheapest possible because my salad costs now twice a normal salad. But if you check the whole supply chain, there are huge benefits because if the animal will eat grass done with our technology, we can improve the vitamin content, we can improve a lot of nutritional part that will have an important aspect and part in the animal growth to reduce all the shit that we are giving to them. So, I mean, you can be a key element in a lot of supply chain, but also, for example, for industry like cosmetics, for pharmaceutical. The problem is that every time Mother Nature delivers you a product only few times per year, and differently every time. Think about, for example, Chanel. Chanel, to produce Chanel number 5, they are using 7 flowers. Every year, the flowers are different. So they have huge cost to adapt the recipe because she wants the Chanel number 5. She doesn't care that there was a storm over there. So the technology allows to be consistent. And the consistency allows you to destroy supply chain that were really important because, as I mentioned, Chanel collected the flower only 3 times per year. So they have to process only in 3 days a huge amount of product. I'm able to produce what they need, the daily production. So all the lines can be really small, more efficient, with a less environmental impact.
And local. And localized.
Yes,
they don't
exactly.
have to be, being made in, certain countries where the flowers are only produced there. I think
Because also, for example, in the cosmetic industry, we are importing a lot of variety from Far East, and the consistency is not good. And try to think which is the CO2 impact in supplying this product that later anyway will be thrown away because are not so good. So if we are producing, for example, 100 tons, they will use maybe only 30. But to produce the other 70, we have used water, we have used energy, we have used work that are what we need right now because we don't have good water anymore. So that's the challenge. That's the challenge.
One last question.
Very quickly. So I can imagine that this is applicable to every single small plant or bushes, but do you envision vertical farming to be possible with actual trees, like olive trees?
So don't think about vertical because it doesn't have to be vertical. I think that the right word is control environmental agriculture. Yes, you can, because, for example, for a lot of trees, we can do the initial phase. The initial phase that can allows us to produce a really healthy plants with really solid roots. So once you are going to transplant it into the soil, you don't have to add a lot of chemicals. We have done an important research on wine, for example. In Italy, we have the Barbatelle. The wines are done with ancient roots where you will add the variety. That process required 9 months and 36 chemical treatment. We have done the same process in 1.5 months with 0 chemical treatment. The result of the quality of the roots was so shocked, really impressive, because we were only focused in improving the roots quality, and once they will transplant it, they have 100% granted. So it's different. For sure, it makes no sense to produce avocados in this moment in a vertical farm. But later on, yes. Because it's only a matter of converting energy into leaves. So that's the goal.
Fantastic. That was an enlightening conversation. Actually makes me a little bit hungry. Not just for food, fashion too. I do, like Chanel, even though my wife likes Chanel. But Luca Travaglini, thank you so much.
Thanks to you. And also, all your guests are more than welcome if they have time to come for the event that we will have next week. You will be able to taste some of our variety, and I hope you will enjoy it.
That's on Tuesday. So we'll send an email about that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.